No, the fact that the first ever representative team of Australia was Aboriginal was pretty significant. A lot of people don't know that.
In terms of bringing that knowledge to light of that original team that went over, we did a documentary called Walkabout Wickets. It brought a lot of attention to that team and the current players who are, vying for higher honours in their cricket careers. I'd like to see, maybe something even in the school curriculum, something optional to come across, because it should be more widely acknowledged that the first Australian sporting team to go overseas was an Aboriginal cricket side.
There's not many Indigenous cricketers that are going around in Australia, which is a shame. I think there needs to be more like Aboriginal teams in country towns like Echuca when I played there. But I still think they cop racism as well. So I think, it's still a tough environment.
As a kid, the game, there was a lot of sledging and there was, racism really wasn't much of a thought. But, through the work of, nationally, just, socially and also, cricket circles, they've worked really hard, state and nationally to really stamp out, any racism and any of that stuff in the game. So, it's still going to be around, but obviously, there's measures in place where, those things are dealt with. And I think it's a great space for young kids to come through now.
When they've got the Imparted Cup, it brings out a lot of the community all together in one state, just so we can kind of talk back and get to know each other a little more. And it also allows us to get to do more cultural days over there with each other and understand our culture a little bit better.
Our Indigenous pathway has definitely improved over the years. I think it's becoming more of an acknowledged pathway in our systems. It's got merit, it's become high performance in the last few years, and I think it's on its way up. And it's nice to, represent our people as well and be acknowledged across the board rather than just have a token competition.
Look at players like Gunditjmara. I mean, just on his stats, he is without doubt the greatest all-rounder Australia has ever produced. He's making state centuries when he was in his late 30s.
I know about Ash Gardner, Hannah Darlington, Scott Boland.
You look at AFL and every third bloke's an Indigenous fella and he's an absolute gun. And I think out there's the cricketers definitely there, but I think not really sure how it's sort of going, but it's definitely getting there. Blokes like Dan Christian and all these others, Joshy Layla in a Big Bash, they're all definitely promoting it a lot more. And sort of the blokes that are doing it, I think they're paving the way for the young ones coming through.
Yeah, today we're very lucky and we're very blessed. Obviously, the footsteps that all our elder mob are, in the cricket circles all around the country, but professionally, in Queensland, we're very lucky that Queensland Cricket provide a great pathway and a support to, our boys to, be able to upskill themselves and put themselves in a space where, it's an option to play the game professionally.
I think it's getting there. It's getting quite good.
I think they could look to do acknowledgement of countries before every game to acknowledge the land that we're gathering on. That's something that maybe they could look to do moving forward.
It was pretty cool considering, a lot of the population used to be made up with the Indigenous people. So I find it pretty interesting that cricket, a lot of Indigenous people played cricket, which kind of relates back to me now.
We finally got our rights to vote in 1967, but up until then we've made speeches and all sorts of things.
We've got a long way to go as a nation in repairing 230 plus years of colonisation. It still has its impact on our people.